Welcome back. My name is Jessica, and this is J Gilly Tarot. You may book a personal reading with me at any time at jgilly.com. That's JGILLY.com. All right, so let's get into it. I've been quite haunted by all the e-files that have been released, in particular the photos and the photography. And as a psychic medium, I was noticing that there are very dark, sinister entities and demonic beings that are interlaced in the photos. And I wanted to get on here and give a collective message of maybe hope and enlightenment on how to protect yourself from these photos when you're looking at them, but also giving insight into what I believe is an agenda behind everyone in our human population consuming these millions of files and exposing their own sacred energy to the photographs and what's behind them that maybe not the average bear can see. So I sat down to meditate, and I was looking within myself for the teachable moments and the connection, the golden thread that wove together the lesson here. And I was reminded by my favorite series about 4 years ago that was released on Amazon Prime called The Tales from the Loop. And it is a tale of time travel, swapping bodies, and freezing rivers of time that weave together the lives of the residents in a town called Mercer, much like our everyday behind the veil. Underground sits an intergalactic pine cone that has mysterious things happening caused by metaphysical centers of testing called the loop, much like we know of the 13-foot pine cone that sits underneath the Vatican. What I love about this series is that time is a character and loops people together through memory or snapshots and photography skills just in the blink of an eye. It's a way to keep them in the loop. But love is what survives beyond physical form. The loop underground can manipulate time, sometimes slow, sometimes fast, but always irreversible. So, a lot to unpack there. What I really was connecting to the e-files today was episode 8, where a little boy and a camera almost is used as a medium for time travel, a portal. And the pine cone underneath the loop represents the pineal gland, in my opinion. The rivers that freeze and switch up time, decades forward or decades backward in this series, represent the passage of time and currency. And as we know, maritime law, everything is spoken in terms of water, currency, the current. So what am I getting at? Well, I looked up Alma, the name in the loop, and it equates to the gematria numbers of the words lack and con. And then I heard my guide say, the con of time is a lack mindset. Wow. Like, so true. Then I looked up the gematria for Tales from the Loop, and it equated to those were the days and 23andMe. As you know, it's a DNA testing site that tells you your genetics, your origins, things like that. There's been a lot of scandal with the company as well, and its um, fraudulent claims and testing results and labs and all that stuff. So, yeah, so much interconnectedness here. And circling back to the e files, I think these photos and the obsession of combing through all the files expose us to being trapped into a loop. First off, it re traumatizes the victims, right? Images are worth 1,000 words. They're the currency of people in spirit as a medium. I use imagery, clairvoyant imagery, to tell me the message in 1,000 words. Yes, I hear. Yes, I feel. Yes, I taste. But the images that are a vision hold the most weight for me in my communication. And that's the same thing with our physical avatar. And that's why mind control is so successful. Why also DID is the outcome of the trauma. It can split time, it can change time, it can manipulate it. But again, remember, time is always reversible. If you can go forward, you have to have an opposite reaction. So, um, yeah, it's just so mind blowing. Um, what I feel is the plot, the agenda behind the e-files being released. I don't think Jeffrey Epstein is unalive. I think that this is a major, major simulation of not so mysterious um, motives anymore. So let's get into it. I'm going to pull some cards and see what information we can uncover, hidden challenges, helpful tips, and ways that you can protect yourself. All right. I got the Two of Pentacles and the Five of Pentacles in reverse. What I gather from this is definitely protecting your auric field, psychic protection. You can visualize yourself, like I said, in a disco ball or some reflective surface, to return to sender, to make yourself almost like Teflon. Whatever is being sent to you bounces off and reflects back. But also, again, the most powerful protection is prayer and physical health of your avatar, detoxing from heavy metals, having water filters to filter out fluoride, which calcifies the pineal gland. Remember, the 13-foot pineal pine cone, which represents the pineal gland. This is constantly under attack in this simulation. And everyday people aren't aware of it. It's been so slow over time, but it's in the blink of an eye where they use these toxin strategies to veil us, to make us forget. And so being in control of your own time in your day, each and every day, is the most powerful thing as well. To honor your free will, to step out of unpredicted character, in a way that is a glitch in the matrix. So you're not so predictable. Movement, movement in all the chakras, yoga, dance, activity, anything that helps you to express in a physical manner all that pinned up emotion is by way of the alchemist's journey, and the hero's journey. So movement, physical health, so important. We're superheroes in everyday suits, and we have the power of regeneration. So exercising that, super important as a form of protection. Um, Also clearing your chakras, just with a meditation, cutting cords, cutting off people that are toxic, that are draining, that are siphoning neurologically, physically. It all energy is an exchange on contact. So everything you allow in your bubble, everything you consume, reading, listening, watching, it all affects the pineal gland, all of it, and your sacred energy. So being choosy, being selective, very important. The Five of Pentacles, I'm getting positive changes, recovery from loss, which I'm reminded again by that saying I heard. The con of time is a lack mindset. The pineal gland is a projector. Thoughts dictate actions, dictate routines, dictate lifestyles. So being very selective in what you participate in, super important. But the good news is that positive changes are coming from this. If you're feeling drained, combing through the Epstein files, pause, do something positive, do something uplifting, do something that gets you in your inner child's joy. And overcoming adversity was what I just heard. So I think these are all really positive potentials of this outcome. We can't ignore the disclosure. We can't ignore how many victims have been afflicted. It's just horrible. And the victims also need a voice. That's part of their healing as well. So I think the best thing we can do as a society is listen with non-judgment and belief, not immediately rejecting it, and understanding that there is far more things about our world that we still need to uncover and unpack and find a way to spiritually understand within ourselves. Be our own wise teacher. We're not going to find anything that's more valuable outside of ourselves than internally with where our soul has already traversed, what our soul has already learned. Lifetimes, over lifetimes. All right. I was then called to pull more cards from my Illuminati New World Order conspiracy deck because I feel it replaces a lot of missing pieces to the puzzle. So I asked, what is the outcome? I heard, I pulled blood, toil, tears, and sweat. It says, this requires the action of media groups with a combined power of at least 4. This card may be played at any time. Discard any one New World Order card now in play. So I think this is what we're going through actually right now. That we have to go through the blood, the toil, the tears, and sweat as we comb through the horrors of our reality. The first step in healing is the recognition, the acceptance of what has happened, right? As hard as it may be, the most courageous thing is to face it. And I got Privatization. It's on this photo up here. It says Burger Czar, People's Glorious Revolutionary Food Distribution Collective. Play this card at any time. It requires action by either the Illuminati or corporate groups with a total power equal to the resistance of the target group. Doubled if the group is currently government. Added bonuses for its closeness to the Illuminati if it belongs to a rival. The target group becomes permanently corporate. If it was government, that alignment is lost. And if it was a dictatorship, it is no longer. Keep this card with a link to the target. Oh my God, that said so much. I think the natural resistance is calling your power back, taking ownership of what you choose to buy, what you choose to invest in, doing your due diligence and research about the companies you purchase from. Are they connected to BlackRock? Are they connected to the Illuminati? Are they connected to sinister groups that have PDF symbolism? I just saw it on the other day on a post on Facebook. One of the people I followed was suddenly posting little boy symbolism and spinning it as a tech logo with all these major announcements. It was just disgraceful. So, really having your wits about you and understanding what you're buying from, who you're buying from, the story behind it. Are people being harmed? Chances are, yes, at this rate. And so those grassroots companies, those mom and pop shops, that's where it's at. This is how we're going to resist. This is how we take the power back from those that took it illegally, harming people at the hands and currency of human transport. You know, I'm seeing in my mind's eye the Bible verse, um, the last shall be first and the first shall be last. And I think that sums up the resistance all, you know, all in one. It's time where power is in numbers. And it's time to use our own photography camera to reverse the decades of trauma. It's time to heal as a whole and start to look to the future with hope using our natural gifts that we were given, not sitting in a loop anymore. I hope this made sense. I hope it put some things in perspective for you. And if you're feeling anxiety because of all the information, know that you're not alone and do it in bites that you can chew. You get to set the course of time. Love and light.